Man, oh man, it's been a crazy day. I did a video, and then I realized that there was some information missing, and the video wasn't really as comprehensive as I wanted it to be. And I actually get off the track, and I was tired. I was tired at 12 o'clock, so I'd messaged Amy. Wasn't a whole lot going on for me tonight, and Amy, I said, hey, do you mind if I have a little nap before I head home? I'm freaking tired. So I did. I went back to the house, put my... I forgot my training suit in the washing machine. I'll get Brody to get it out. He'll take care of it. So Brody had gone over there last week, one of our employees. He's crashing at our place until... I told him, I said, you can crash to the place if you want until I come over with Ava, and Amy's back and forth. I said, so you got till mid-June, and you can stay at the house. So I'll get him to take it out. One problem fixed. I did have the nap sharp now. I'm going to eat home at 8 o'clock, which is still fine. I did want to watch 1-2 skip a few race day. My God, this filly's coming on. I know what you saw today. It was Lady Cameron win easy, but second week in a row, first over. She looks better now. I think this is going to be a good filly for us all the way through the year. Speaking of good fillies, I went with our girl, Sweet on Pete, today. I want to talk about everything that went on today. So, trained all the babies today. For the most part, they were good. A couple of horses, the equipment cards were a little off this morning. They had the Murphy blind on the wrong side of Sister Solange. I didn't notice it until we get on the track. I'm like, she'll be okay. She made a break in the 5/8 turn, which she never runs. Most importantly, they're getting the weight on her. She's starting to look good now. Exactly what I hoped would happen with that little shake-up, taking her over to Ohio. She'd spark her up a little bit. They said she's eating really well. She's starting to look good also, so really happy with that. One other horse made a break. Whispering Song, Brody went with her, said she knuckled over. So she's probably due to be shod behind Will Baycock's her. So a lot of the times you have longer toes. Baycock's is that catch-all. Sometimes it helps, sometimes it doesn't, and they've reduced the generic form of totazerol and diclozerol, the two most used medications for Baycock's. You can get it compounded. We get it in Ohio. It's reasonably priced, so to treat them isn't that expensive. You'll see a lot of them. We have a lot of them. We'll treat them from time to time. We'll treat them. Some of them it really does help, and other times you're left saying, I think I just wasted my money. But we will Baycock's Whispering Song and get her shot. I'm not too concerned with her. She's been great. Was awesome at the open house. Has been awesome. Not too concerned with Whispering Song. The horse that I did pay very close attention to was a horse I never go with. Magical Tom made a break today in the first turn, which I thought was unnecessary. So Tom and I had a discussion about it. I went back out, changed his gear, and he made another break. So I come back in, put some more weight on Tom, and added the trotting hobbles. Tom trained a mile on 2.7 last half and 1-1 today. Wasn't planning on really pushing him, but he pushed my buttons. So that's exactly what happened. He was stretched out and did his work very well after we were done tinkering with him. Looked like a very fruitful tinkering session with Tom, and he was very good after that. Very happy with what I saw from him. Again, we're 5-6 weeks away from any major stake races with these horses in Ohio, so way ahead of schedule with a Magical Tom, but very happy with what I saw from him today. The other horses all trained good. We went a mile and a half the last mile, anywhere between 14 and 17. We had 3 sets today. Very happy with everybody. I'll tell you who really caught my eye also was Fashion Presidente. Yes, we took him to Ohio. Another change of scenery type horse. He looked very, very good today training. Brody went with him. I cut it out with Full Heart, who was horsing real bad today. She was in heat and season, really bad. She still trained, and he come thundering through the inside up the passing lane and beat me. Vector Cruz on the outside. What a mission. Stayed trotting, did his work in the middle. I'm just going to get a sub here at Subway. A little hungry, a little peckish. So, all was well in Ohio. I trained Per Lucky today. Man, what a nice horse that is. God, he can really dance. Really, really impressed with him. He's in to go Sunday. All horses scoped today. The Schoolers qualifier, so he's Sweet on Pete, Per Lucky, and Dustin Hanover. There was one other horse we scoped also. I don't know who the other horse was we scoped. Well, those three scoped good anyway. Dustin Hanover, a little flatter than I'd like to see. I don't like the shoes they put on them. They were aluminums, they turned around, but they were not the kind that I like. Was that a problem? I don't know. I didn't love the way I had him shot today. I get up 3/4, 127 and 3, 1 mile and 58 flat with Dustin Hanover. Decent mile, but not a, hey, what a nice purchase for 45,000 type mile just yet. Now, don't be concerned. This horse is going through quite a transition. He's going from one of the best trainers in the world. We're trying to iron out some of the wrinkles. Is shoeing going to help? It should. So we're going to see where we go. There's going to be enough power there. Listen, as I said to one of my partners on the horse today, listen, he can win the numbers 1, 2, do good in the 3. We can sell him, and you're safe. We should be safe. And that's the beauty about buying trotters for that type of price range, whether it's 20 to 40. You know, they can win the numbers of 1, numbers of 2, just on what they're supposed to be, and then hopefully sell them on what they might be. So, and I don't want to sound negative in any way. Dustin Hanover seemed very eager to work today. At top speed, he got out of gear. Reminded me of Donato Patriot K. You know, he had that kind of climby, rough way of going about him. We just need to tinker with those shoes a little bit, and I think we can have him fine. Very happy with what I saw from him today, though. Very, very happy with him. I shouldn't say very, very happy. I was happy because I think we can iron out some more wrinkles. Give me a little latitude. He's not a stake horse yet anyway, so give me a little latitude with this guy. Tinker with him again. School him next week and see, and I'll come over. I'll be over there. We'll train him next week, then school him next week. See if we can get him proper. I think we're on the cusp. We're on the cusp. And Sweet on Pete was great today. Now, the line actually looks a lot better, a little bit better than she was. She was good, not as super comfortable as I'd like. Now, this is an extremely, I want to say complex, but it's not super complex. Wasn't as strong finishing up as I'd like. She finished up her mile 28 and 4 and drove away, but then going into the turn afterwards, where it should have just been a mild slowdown, I felt her slow up a bit and roll off stride. It's not something she usually does, so it's not habit. And the only reason you would do that would be fatigue, soreness, interfering. We scoped her after. A couple of trickles of blood. Now, as the vet and I talked about, and Jason and I, we all talked about it, don't know if a couple of trickles would be enough to put her on Lasix, but how do the trickles at 20 degrees Celsius look at 30 in the summer? Stretched out. Now, you could say that bleeding was indicative of the work we'd put into her over the last 2 weeks. Possible. I think she's actually 20 or 30 pounds overweight, too. So the question remains, why? Why'd she bleed? The bleeding could have been that fatigue I talked about. Could have been what I saw going into the turn. Could be something else. Mike said her feet were kind of sore. He said, Anthony, so we had those bar shoes on her 2 weeks. He said, when we went over the other day, I looked at her on a scale of 1 to 10, obviously 1 being great, 10 being bad. I would say she's a 6 out of 10 on her feet. So the bar shoes we have on her are not doing what I expected them to do right away. These were the same shoes she wore last year. Do we switch to a flip-flop? Now, big picture, nice filly, lots of speed, lots to offer. We want her happy all the time. Think we got to get 20 or 30 pounds off her. That's beside the point. We'll put that away. What else is going on with her? Her feet are not where we want them to be. Can we work on them harder? I don't know. They're working pretty hard on them. Maybe what we'll do is put her set of flip-flops on her and school her on Lasix next Thursday. Important. This is why. She doesn't have a stake race for 4 or 5 weeks. She has to race in a numbers of 4. You're going to race a 3-year-old filly in the numbers of 4. You better be ready to rock because they're going to trot in 55 at the Meadows, at Scioto Downs, in Northfield Park, 57, 56, 55. Easy even here. So you got to be ready to go. This can't be we'll sneak her through type thing. What I saw today was a filly eager to do her work, but not at 100%. So I think it makes sense to me, and my partners out there, I'm sure you'll agree, we'll school her next week on Lasix with flip-flops on. My concern with her with flip-flops are when we put flip-flops on horses and they wear their hobbles in a little tight, they have a tendency to interfere a little bit more, brush it themselves behind. Is that the case in this case? Will she do that? And obviously, you can say that, but there's give and take there. She's sound on her feet. She's going to be stronger. Can we work with that? There's really only one way to find out, and that's to do it and see. So I think without getting in a big hurry for a filly that's potentially has a big season in front of her, let's school her on Lasix with flip-flops on next week. Makes the most sense to me, and I think that's what we'll do. She's qualified. You can race her like that, but that break in the turn after was, one, telling, and two, a little bit concerning. I don't think overall there's any soreness issues. Her right stifle bothers her from time to time. We have to manage that. And her feet hurt her. I would suspect her right stifle bothering her is a secondary problem from that little bit of pressure. Because when their feet are sore, they come off their feet a little bit. They have to take weight behind. Their hocks get sore, stifles get sore, their back gets sore. So in hearing that stifle's a little bit problematic and they have to manage it quite a bit, where's that coming from? Again, that points to the front feet. So we're going to work on her front feet. We're going to change her to a flip-flop shoe up front. We are going to school her next week on Lasix just to see how good Pete feels before we start going into, pari-mutuel competition with her. So that's where we're at with Pete. But overall, very strong today. Eager to do her work. I just think we're there. We're almost there. But again, I can just say, hey guys, ready to go because she qualified great. What I saw was a filly that you could race, but could be better. I guess that's the best way to put it today. Same as Dustin Hanover. Ready to race, could be better. So we're going to tinker with their shoes, see if we can't get them just a little bit better, a little stronger, a little more confident. That's where we're at with both of those horses today. As I said, Perlucky was fantastic. The horses trained good. 1-2 skip a few was great. Now, I want to touch on one more thing. A lot of people ask me, this is a time of year where everybody gets anxious, right? Where's Resolute Bay? Where's Renegade Gypsy? Why aren't they racing? Now, I know those are formed in emails with question marks, and I assume everybody's just super inquisitive and not angry. Resolute Bay could have raced Monday ahead of Unbeatable Kemp, but Resolute Bay has a stake coming up at Grand River, grassroots stake next Friday. I left it to Harry, as I said to one of my partners, a friend of mine, Bob, had messaged me. I left it up to Harry. Where do you want to race him? Grassroots. Good. I was going to push him. He said gold. I would have said good. Grassroots. Perfect. Grassroots next Friday, a week from this Friday coming. Not this one coming, the next one coming at Grand River. Perfect. Renegade Gypsy was entered for Flamborough, a little bit over the class. They thought he might open the class up for him. He didn't. Trained him at the farm, which is fine. It's fine. Going to train him again. Going to race him Wednesday at London. Back Friday at Grand River in the grassroots. Resolute Bay, Thursday at Mohawk. Back Friday at Grand River. So the timing is good. And I know the horses had a couple of weeks off, but guys, they only have so many starts a year. And if we're going to keep pushing and pushing and pushing, at the end of the year, what you're going to find is what's happened before, they're going to be exhausted when we need them to be sharp. So just let them stay sharp for the year. We only have so many starts with them. We could rush and put them in somewhere, but you have to look at your calendar also. Wednesday back Friday, Thursday back Friday is perfect for both those colts. So if to answer your question easily, Resolute Bay will race Thursday at Mohawk, back Friday at Grand River. Renegade Gypsy will race Wednesday at London, back Friday at Grand River. So that is where they are. A couple more horses like that. Blue Bayou Deal. They called me. I was under the understanding that they would separate Blue Bayou D and Unbeatable Kemp because they're not going to take two horses in the same class to have also eligibles. But they did. I think a lot of the also eligibles didn't actually fit the class. So that did lead to us being ahead of them. I'm fine with that. I want to get them both raced. These are horses we're prepping actually for Oak Grove in Kentucky later in June. So no rush. Again, only so many starts. Blue Bayou Dio is razor sharp again. This should be very telling how long it actually takes for a horse to get sick, get over it, and get back to 100%. It's been 3 weeks almost for Blue Bayou Dio. You know, I know we rush sometimes, run a bunch of vitamins into them and antibiotics, and we think we can just go right back. But for your average horse, to be back to 100%, ready to rock, 2.5, 3 weeks. And that's what it took to have Blue Bayou Dio. She's ready to go now. Dominic said she was absolutely tremendous the other day. Unbeatable Kemp coming off that horrible line at the Meadowlands. He's back now. He also trained him, said he was comfortable how he looked really good. So I'm eager to see him race, but less eager to see him race against me with Blue Bayou Dio on Monday, but it's good to get them raced. Sailor, another person asked, where is Sailor at? Sailor is going to be